Hello and welcome. This is the Blue Mountains Model Rail Project. I'm Andy and this is video number 4. So before I begin, I would just like to say a big thank you and welcome to my subscribers. Many thanks for that. And hello to anyone who has just dropped onto this video. And you'll see that I am now at the actual stage of designing the baseboard and then considering my options as to what I can and obviously what I cannot do. Before we begin, we obviously need to know what kind of size of baseboard, what style of baseboard, and what I'm hoping to achieve, and obviously what gauge I'm going to be modeling in. Clearly in the description of the channel it's purely 00 at this point. And the design of the layout is, or even the baseboard, is going to be based around a continual circuit, as it were, with a void in the center, so that I can operate locomotives and trains as I need to, with currently just using DC at the moment. I hopefully will be moving across to DCC at some point in the near future. But in the interim, and just for the design purposes, I'm going to be using DC. The next step obviously is dimensions, and we're currently looking at roughly 4 meters by 3.6 meters, which gives me adequate room to run a semi-decent layout, as opposed to just running a 4x8 or 8x10 or something like that. So this is going to be a nice size to work with, starting back into model railroading. Sometimes you can try and bite off more than you can chew, and you end up in a world of hurt. So it's always nice to have a semi-decent size, but nothing too big to work with. And this just fits the bill just nicely. And with it only being 3.6 meters, it allows me enough space to get to this side of the layout and this side of the layout for working in these areas here on the extremities, and this section here as well. The baseboard design is going to be plywood, and I'll be using some of the materials to cushion the track. I'll get onto that in another video. The main baseboard, Baseboard 1, which is currently what this pad is resting on at the moment. This is 2.2 meters by 1.49 meters, and I also now have Baseboard 2 built, and that's just resting on an old dining table at the moment, and is butted up against here. So I do actually have 2 boards to work with at the moment, and hopefully in the upcoming months I'll get Baseboard 3, 4 and 5 bought and built, ready to go. And then all I have to worry about then is a decent support all the way around, and obviously legs to keep everything at the same level. Okay, this next section really warrants a video all to itself, really, so that you can spend more time working out the benefits and pros and cons, I guess, of using this method called splitting the difference. And I actually found this by accident when I was looking for information on what is the best gradient to use for 00 model rail, so 00HO kind of thing. And in the forums there was a great number of opinions in regards to what is the best gradient to use, and I suppose that the purists out there would say obviously the longer the better. It's more realistic. You don't see trains suddenly coming from a level and then suddenly going up like that. It's just not going to happen. So based on I suppose the discussions in the forums and the advice given on a couple of other different forums too, and other websites as well. I came across this gentleman who decided to use this method called splitting the difference. And I thought, okay, that sounds like a great idea. What does it do? Well, exactly as it says on the tin. You start off from your baseboard level, so point A, and in order to get to your second level, which is going to be point C, you have a mid section, which is pretty much 50% of the height of your second and obviously your baseboard level. What is the benefit of that? Well, there are a number of benefits to that, in my mind at least anyway, in that it essentially shortens the run required to get from point A to point B, which would be the normal way of going from your lower level to your second level. In this case, using this particular method, you're using a middle section or a mid section, so which is going to be, I'm working on 80mm as my second level, and obviously 0 is the baseboard. So my middle section is going to be 40mm, give or take, along with that. Chances are it's going to be roughly 42 plus whatever size board I'm using. So we're probably looking at maybe even going longer than the 1.8 meters, as I've written here. Because to get from 0 to 80mm using my 1 in 45 gradient, or a 2.2% grade, it's going to take me 3.6 meters just to get to that level. Halving that obviously is 1.8 meters to get to 40mm, and then from 40mm up to 80mm is another 40mm higher, so another 1.8 meters to travel. Almost forgot where I was there for a minute, bit of a brain fade. Must be coffee time, I think. Anyway, now the benefit of that is not only does it shorten the distance between your baseboard and your second level, but it also adds further interest and other opportunities, because in the case of this, we're going from 40mm, we're traveling 1.8 meters roughly to the second level, which is at 80mm. Now if I then take the same, obviously dropping down, I can then drop my track to go under my second level, and it's only going to take 1.8 meters or 2 meters max to get to that point, which leaves me with quite a few options in order to get to there, and minimizes distance, minimizes the having to use additional baseboard in order to achieve the first and second level. Not only that, it adds a bit of topography to the layout and quite a few landscaping opportunities, because not everything in real life is at the same level. So, baseball level, track, cars, roads, whatever. You don't have a little hill, you have big hills. You also have small hills, you have dips in the road, climbs in the road, and so on. So it's going to make this quite interesting to actually apply to the layout. And as you'll see here in this really kind of dodgy sketch here, and again, it's not to scale by any stretch of the imagination, it's just an idea. And for my midsection here, I'm using an option A and option B. So I'm going to be covering off just option A at the moment. This is my track. Woohoo, look at that, that's beautifully drawn. And obviously I've got my up and down lines. So I'm going to be coming up this line to my midsection, which again is 40mm approx in height. This is my level section of track. Now, I could, should I desire, go up to the second level, so point C, and that again is at 80mm approximately. Or I could, again, these are just stretching out ideas. I could drop this down, again 1.8 meters to do so, to come back down, or 2 meters roughly, and come into below my second level, which can then come out here or extend somewhere else, or there's hundreds and hundreds of ways you can use this. And again, this is if I combine option A and option B together, I can have my high section for the railway. I can have my lower section for a station area or something like that. Or ignoring option A, my track can go behind option B, which is 40 millimeters higher than the baseboard. So we can then come along here and then come into this tunnel mouth here and carry on that way. And then option B can be, going onto my race section in my second level there. So there's a great number of options. And as I said, some great landscaping opportunities, and adds a little bit more depth and a little bit more realism onto the model railway. So that's pretty much where I am at the moment. I've got a number of videos that I'm planning on putting together today, so hopefully I can get this uploaded today, and then I can work on the other videos for you within the next couple of days, and they should be up by the weekend or Monday at the latest. So with that, I'm going to bid you a farewell for the time being. Many thanks for joining me and for watching this video. I hope you found this of interest, and any comments, any suggestions, any pros, cons that you think might cause issues on the size of the layout, etc., then please feel free, add your comments, your suggestions. And if you want to stay up to date with what's going on with the Blue Mountains Model Rail project, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I look forward to hearing your comments, and I will endeavour to reply to all your comments as soon as I see them come in. The fact that I'm based in Australia, it might be the same day, it might be the evening, it might be the following day or the day after. So with that, bon voyage, and happy railroading.